Hello guys and welcome back to AWS Solution Architect Associate class, and in this video we are going to learn what is Amazon Elastic Container Service, and it stands for ECS. This is basically the theoretical lectures, and it's very important lecture as well for your exam as well as into your professional lives. So, what is ECS? ECS is basically stands for the Amazon Elastic Container Services, and this is a regional service. It's not a global service, and it basically simplifies, running container in a highly available manner across the multiple availability zone within a region. And it also, the high performance container management service that's going to support your Docker containers and allows you to easily run application on a managed cluster of Amazon EC2 instance. And ECS also eliminates the need for you to install, operate, and scale your own cluster management infrastructure. Using API calls, you can launch and stop container enabled applications, query the complete state of clusters, and access many familiar features like security groups, elastic load balancing, EBS volumes, and IAM roles. ECS can also be used to schedule the placements of your container across cluster based on the resources need and availability requirements. So there is also no, it's also a free service in AWS, and you pay for AWS resources like the EC2 instance or the ABS volume as you pay without ECS, and you create to store and you run your applications. Possible to use Elastic Bean. You can also use the Elastic Bean stock to handle the provisioning of an Amazon or ECS cluster, load balancing, and auto scaling, monitoring, and placing your container across your cluster. Alternatively, use ECS directly for more fine-grained control for customer application architecture. And it is possible to associate a service on ECS to an application load balancer for the Elastic load balancing services. So this is a highly scalable, fast, and the container management type services that makes it easy to run, stop, and manage your container on a cluster. So your containers basically are defined in a task definition which you use to run individual task or as a service. And you can also run your task and services on a serverless infrastructure that is managed by AWS Fargate or far more control over your infrastructure so that you can run your task and services on a cluster. So let's and it's basically ALB supports a target group that contains a set of instance ports, and you can specify a dynamic port in the ECS task definition which gives the container an unused ports when it is scheduled on EC2 instance. And ECS also provides a collection of open source projects for container management and orchestrations. And blocks makes it easy to consume events from ECS and store the cluster state locally and query the local data stored through APIs. And you can use any AMI that meets the ECS AMI specifications as well. So let's take a look into next slides. What its ECS look like into the image and how it's work. So you can see it here. This is our AWS infrastructure. We have our own VPC. We have created our VPC. We have here the container registry, the ECR, and the Docker hubs. That's our container image. And we have the task definition and then server descriptions and the services here. And to deploy the application on ECS, your application component must be the architect to run in a container. And a container is basically standardized units of software developments containing your everything that your software application needs to run. Application to run like the code, runtime, system tools, system libraries, etc. And containers are basically created from a read-only template called we called it an image, as you can see it on the top. That's a container image, and that's From here you can create its container from this template. So images are, typically it's built from a Docker file or a plain text file that specifies all the components which you required, and included in the container. And these images, as you can see in these images, are then built and stored in a registry from which they can be downloaded and can run on your cluster. And we have the task definition here also. So basically the task definition is to prepare your application run on your ECS. It's basically preparing your application to run on your ECS container, and then you have to create a task definition. So a task definition is also a text file in JSON format that describes one or more container, and up to a maximum 10 container you can specify into your task definitions that from your application. So that is the task definition is. And basically a task, you can see it here in the task. So task is the the instantiations of a task definition within a cluster. And after you have created a task definitions for your applications within your ECS, you can specify the number of tasks that will run on your own cluster. So the AWS AWS ECS task scheduler basically is responsible for placing tasks within your cluster, and that's how it's basically going to be responsible to place your your task within this cluster here. That's our cluster. You can see it here, and there are also different scheduling options also available into the task. So if I you can take an example, like say you can define a services that runs and maintain a specified number of tasks simultaneously, right? Oh, sorry. So let's come here, and you can see it also here. Let's say the I'm just talking about the cluster, and what is basically cluster is a logical grouping of tasks or the services. As you can see it, we have a cluster of here in the availability zone 1 we have three tasks, and in availability zone here we have three tasks also. And we have three internet ENI, the internet network sorry, the network interface in both AZ1 and AZ2. And all these are the grouping, and these all are called the clustered. So you can basically register one or more EC2 instance, and also they can refer as the container instance when you are going to deploy them on the container, and they can be as a container instance with your cluster to run the task. So when basically your the tasks are run on the Fargate, you can see it. This is also the Fargate. We will look into it into the next couple of slides what the Fargate is in little bit details. So basically, when your task runs on the Fargate, your cluster resources are managed by the Fargate service itself. But just keep in mind, when you first use the ECS, then the default cluster going to be managed by you, not by the Fargate or any other services. Okay, and let's we have one more features in the container that we call it's the container agent. Container agent is runs on each container instance within an ECS cluster, and it sends the information about the resources, current running task, and resource utilization to Amazon ECS, and it starts and stops task whenever it receives a request from Amazon ECS. So that's how it's work. And you can also use the ECS with a couple of surveys. You can use them with the IAM, the identity and access management. You can use the ECS with auto scaling. You can use the load balancing. You can use them with the container registry and the cloud formations also. So there are a couple of services you can use the ECS. And if I just talk about the pricing, as I already mentioned, it's a free and Amazon ECS pricing, but its pricing basically depends on whether you are using the AWS Fargate or EC2 infrastructure to host your containerized workload. So when using Amazon ECS on AWS Outpost, the pricing follow the same model as using the ECS, the Amazon EC2. So there are nothing different. You are just going to pay for your EC2 instance. So let's move into the next slide. So why should I use the Amazon ECS? So there are a couple of benefits to use ECS. ECS makes it easy to use containers as a building block for your applications by eliminating the need for you to install, operate, and scale your own cluster management infrastructure. And ECS also allow you to schedule long-running application services and batch processing using the Docker containers. And ECS maintains application availability and allows you to scale your container up or down to meet your application's capacity requirements. Amazon ECS is integrated with familiar features like ELB, EBS volumes, VPC, and IAM, as we have discussed just few seconds back. And simple APIs lets you integrate and use your own scheduler or connect Amazon ECS into your even the existing software delivery process. So that's how it's very useful. Though you can use the Elastic Beanstalk also for to deploy your applications, and it's also the good service. And we will take a look about the Elastic Beanstalk into our next videos. But for now, if I just go with into the different what's the ECS and what's the difference between ECS and the Elastic Beanstalk is. So Elastic Beanstalk, if I'm just going it into just brief introduction of Elastic Beanstalk, and we will take a look into deep dive into our next videos. So Elastic Beanstalk is an application management platform that helps customers easily deploy and scale web applications and services. And it keeps the provisioning of building blocks, let's say the EC2, RDS, relational database service, Elastic load balancing, auto scaling, CloudWatch, and deployment of applications and health monitoring abstracted from the user, so they can just focus on writing the code. They don't need to focus high if they are the developer, there are some problem to deploy their infrastructure, their servers, and how they have to the load balancing, a lot of stuff you need to do, and before writing the course. But your focus will be on writing the course when you are using the Elastic Beanstalk, because Elastic Beanstalk going to be handle each and everything for you. And you simply just specify which container image are to be deployed, the CPU and memory requirements, the port mapping, and the container links. And Elastic Beanstalk will automatically handle all the details, such as provisioning and ECS cluster, balancing load, auto scaling, monitoring, and placing your container across your cluster. And Elastic Beanstalk basically ideal if you want to leverage the benefits of container but just want the simplicity of deploying applications from development to production by uploading a container image. And you can work with ECS directly if you want more fine-grained control for custom application architecture. So, let's talk about a little bit what the Fargate is, what the Fargate service use in AWS is. So Fargate basically is a technology, and you can use them with your ECS to run the container and without having to manage servers or the cluster of your EC2 instance. So with AWS Fargate, you no longer have to provision, to configure, or scale clusters of virtual machines to run the container. So basically, what it's going to help you, it's going to remove the needs to choose server types, or the server type I need to choose for these applications, whether it's suitable types of EC2 instance or not for my applications, or do I need to make the changes later. So that's needs, it's going to be removed by Fargate, and it decides when to scale your cluster or optimize cluster packing. So basically, when you run your the task and service with a Fargate launch type, you package your application into a container which specify the CPU and the memory requirements, and that's define the networking and IAM policies and launch the applications. And each Fargate task has its own isolation boundary and does not share the underlying kernel CPU resources access memory resources or elastic or network interface with any other task. So this is about the Fargate service. It's tightly integrated with ECS, and it's going to help you to work into your ECS container. Okay, so it's going to remove all your manual deploying your servers into ECS environment or into AWS environments. So it's kind of the automation service, or you can say the technology in AWS, which provides you the automations to deploy your application into the container. We can launch the ECS into two types. We have two options to launch the ECS instance or ECS container. That's first one is the Fargate launch type. The Fargate launch types allows you to run your containerized applications without the need to provisions and manage the backend infrastructure. Let's say the load balancing, the network interface, the auto scaling, and your clustered scale your services or your to handle your spikes, to go your EC2 instance ups and down, scale up and down. So that's going to be handled by Fargate itself. So you don't need to be worried about it. You just register your task definitions and Fargate launches the container for you. And Fargate launch type is a serverless infrastructure managed by AWS services. Fargate only supports the container image hosted on ECR, the Elastic Container Registry, or the Docker Hub. And we have the second options also, that's the EC2 launch type. And EC2 launch type allows you to run your containerized applications on a cluster of EC2 instance that you manage, and private, it's basically private repositories are only supported by EC2 launch type. So let's take an just difference into these slides. What's the difference is, we have the EC2 and Fargate. So in the EC2, you are explicitly provision your EC2 instance into your ECS container, and you are also responsible, you are up to upgrading, patching care of your EC2 pool. You must handle the cluster optimization, more granular control over your infrastructure, because everything going to be provisioned by your own, so you have more customized control on your infrastructure. However, in Fargate, it also have its own benefits. It's control the plant ask for resource, and Fargate automatically provision. You just need to put your requirement into Fargate service, and it's going to be the provisions the EC2 for you. And Fargate provisions compute as needed, and Fargate handle the cluster optimizations, and the limited control as infrastructure is automated within a Fargate service itself. So this is all about in this lecture, guys. Thank you.